Hi, it's Hazel, and welcome to my channel, Hazel and Aka Design. I, forgive me, I worked in my altered book, art journal, whatever, glue book without you. But I wanted to show you what I had done and tell you a little bit of background. It is now September, I don't know, 22nd or so. And we have still not started combining. So I think it's a little bit like when a woman is pregnant and, her delivery date is approaching, you get restless, you nest, you want it over, you want it to start, you want it to be over. Frankly, if I could have skipped that whole delivery part, I would have. But anyway, so that's kind of how I've been occupying myself lately, by doing some cleanup, organizing, reassessing what I have, rediscovering what I have. And as I was taking apart a book, actually it was this one, the Sarah Ben Brannock Illustrated Discovery Journal. And unbeknownst to me, I had actually, I had actually done some pages in it. But I'm not likely to ever continue to do that. So I wanted to salvage the pages because, of course, there were a lot of good ones in there. Anyway, in the pouches, I found a whole bunch of images that I had cut out of magazines back in the day, and I'm thinking this is the 90s, like probably mid-90s. So I thought, okay, I guess I was fussy cutting before I knew what fussy cutting was, and collecting sentiments and so on. Actually, about that time, I was also doing vision boards. Anyway, all that to say that I found some light-colored images and created this page. Now, by itself, it would have been, yeah, but then I used my Posca pens and a gel pen and did the additional doodling, including some gold poppy pods. And then just before I turned on the camera, I added this sentiment because it fits in. It could be our battle cry. As artists, we have to trust the process. So I wanted to show you that. Now, this is a book that I have gutted to some degree and strengthened the pages, done a bunch of collages in, and some of the pages waiting to be used are, wait, where was it? Were pre-gessoed. So those are waiting for some action. Those of you who have been with me a while will have seen these. I also have some work done from the back end. And in fact, this book will be done quite soon. I have a piece of wax paper that I typically insert under a page so that if I'm gluing or painting, I'm not accidentally getting that, whatever it is, on the pages below. Now, part of the, and this has absolutely nothing to do with anything other than I wanted to show you, one of the, or two of the things that I have recently rediscovered are some dolls. Now, if this is not the cutest, and she's positionable, cutest doll you have ever seen, then I don't know what is. Now, this girl has this velvety skin. It feels like a peach. Anyway, a long time ago, when my daughter was young, we were at Kmart because, hey, we didn't have very much money, and, you know, it cost money to raise kids and so on. Anyway, she fell in love with a different girl, a different doll. Now, this brand, I don't know if it's marked anywhere, was called My Child. And I don't know, it must be it must be in the genes, because before long, every time we were there, it seemed we were buying a doll. In fact, somewhere I have a picture when she finally parted with them as an adult. I don't know if she kept one for herself, but I kept the one that I loved the most, which was this little brown-skinned girl. The collection was totally out of control. And they were so beautiful. Anyway, this is the girl that I kept. And before I put her away somewhere, I just wanted you to see. So I asked you if you had seen anything that cute before. Let me tell you that maybe this would have been your answer. Now, I don't know. Why do I like these little brown babies? I don't believe in reincarnation, but could I have been? Did I want to be a brown skin baby? Like, I don't know what's up with that, but I just think I don't know. I should stop talking because I'm probably offending someone or making you wonder about my sanity, but the cutest thing ever. Now, this little one, I might just keep here in my studio so she can make me smile. The bigger girl obviously has to go somewhere else. It's funny, too. Out of all the Barbies that Hillary ever had, the only ones I've kept were the ethnic ones. There's an indigenous one and a Japanese one, I think. So I don't know. Maybe I'm colorblind. Anyway, I wanted you to see these guys, and you can maybe tell me about your favorite doll. I know that dolls existed when I was a child, but honestly, I don't have any dolls from my own childhood, so I'm living vicariously through these girls. Anyway, enough about that. So I thought that it would be good if we did this facing page together. So another thing that I discovered was some calendars that I've had since the mid-90s. I'm trying to get this out of here. Now, I fussy cut around some of these flowers and leaves before I turn on the camera, because goodness knows, watching somebody fussy cut is the equivalent of watching grass grow or paint dry. And so I thought it was interesting. This calendar, I'll just show you a few more pages. Apparently, now, if that's a Ukrainian name, I would say Gail Nesimyuk, from Red Deer. Now, all the images are batik. Oh, there she is. I guess she moved to White Rock. But of course, that's nearly 30 years ago, so who knows. Anyway, I must have really liked this back in the day. Now I'm not so sure. And frankly, hanging on to something for 30 years is plenty long enough. So I'm determined to use this. So these obviously are calendar pages. Oh, anyway, it looks like that's when I was teaching a journaling course through Edmonton Public School Board. Anyway, so I'm thinking that, there will be some connection. Now I can lower this a bit, or maybe I should leave it where it is. Anyway, some connection between these pages because of the yellows and oranges. But I think the green and blue is placing quite a bit of, pretty prominent here. And I was thinking that maybe these will just be focal points. So what I did with this one, now these pieces were fussy cut or were cut out. So I had candle images, and of course you can't tell that except for that wick. I cut out these cushions. this was something about tea. So it doesn't matter what it is, because by the time we're done with it, you can't tell. But if I want to make green my thing, then I'm going to maybe try to focus quite a bit on that and let these guys here, these fussy cut flowers, be the thing that becomes the focal point. And of course, I doubt that we will get this, I doubt that I will get this finished today, because that's not really how this works. It takes a little bit of time. So I just use my Yoo-Hoo glue stick. As you can see, this page has not been prepped in any way, but it's doubled up, but it's not gesso. So I think what I will do is just to begin, this little cushion fringe is kind of folding here. Now, if you're wondering why I've got these gutters masking taped, I was following Carrie, the paper crafter, and I think he was using a book very similar to this, and following along, altering the book to use as an art journal. And I'll put it this way so the green is more to the middle. Anyway, because potentially a person could be using liquids or, paint, matte medium, whatever, his recommendation was to protect the book and prep the book against liquids. I'm just trying to see if I've missed any glue, if I've missed any spots, to protect the gutter by sort of waterproofing it with that tape. Because, of course, if I was using something very wet on a page, it would naturally dribble into that area. See, that's not cut entirely or torn entirely. You know what? This could be an issue. I don't seem to have enough stuff. This is why a person doesn't really do this on TV. No. Oi, oi, oi. Anyway, I'd better glue these things down. It's too soon to throw out the baby with the bathwater, so we'll just trust that this was going to be okay. We trust the process. Now, normally, it's a little risky to just be gluing right on your surface, because especially as it gets covered, because then you risk getting glue on the right side of the... Maybe I need to use this too. Now, by laying this groundwork here for... that's kind of crooked. By laying this groundwork here with these colors, I can choose to emphasize anything that I want. So it could be the blue in this, it could be one of those greens, it could be orange, it could be yellow. Now, you saw that I do have other calendar pages that I could certainly use as well. Just slide this over to them. I'm doing very little overlap at this point. I thought it was interesting, just to go back to this one for a second. Everything on here is rectilinear, which is my preferred shape. And I don't know if you can tell, this was all one image, and I just offset it a bit. I thought that gave it a little more interest. But yet, all the additional work I did, including this last piece, this last sentiment here, is all more curvy. Maybe I might have to look at those images and see what I can see, because this is looking a wee bit skimpy. Now, is it foolish or is it an artistic challenge to limit oneself as much as I've done here? I don't know. I don't know. I guess, you know, that's a decision that each of us have to make on our own. Maybe I'll do that. Or maybe I should, but then I wanted, yeah, maybe I'll just do that. I wanted the fussy cuts to be the focal point. Mind you, just out of your view, I also have a few of these left. That could also probably save my skin here, because like I was using these for the Ready Set Stash Franken paper. I might have to use that because it will add interest, because the scale and the type of image is different. So of course it's variety that makes the world go round. I last night I spent some time answering your comments on recent videos, and that was the one, I guess, well, I know I did. I did ask if I should keep that tiny little scrap of fabric. Now I don't exactly see it here. You will be pleased to know that all, but with the exception of one, and Sandy, we can forgive you for that, everyone voted to keep it, of course. And I'm thinking, hey, these are my peeps. People after my own heart. Anyway, I did use half of that little scrap. Why am I distracting myself and you with this trivia? Whoops. Anyway, you'll have to trust me and keep an eye peeled in an upcoming video to see if you spot that little teeny tiny thing. I think I'm going to have to use some of these just for, we'll just again stick with the yellow orangey colorway. Although, oh, this is mostly borders here. We have some brown. Okay, I guess any of that is fair game. In the meantime, we save this for another day. I know. Okay, do we want to, no, that's kind of nice. Now this is going to be bringing white into it unless I fussy tear fairly close to the, that's so close in color. Why don't I try to just quickly fussy tear this to, I'm basically just trying to get rid of the white at this point. Now she looks at the other side. Now, of course, I've been trying to remember what the name of that beautiful distress oxide color is. I know that it has the word honey in it, and it is a beautiful color. So if I had to touch that against here, I could. I guess this could be interesting also. I don't know why I think that fussy tearing is more interesting to you than fussy cutting would be, but apparently I'm doing it. Now on a big page like this, so it's 11.5 by 7.5. You know, this is really, quite a small scale. However, it might have a place here because of the big contrast with these huge images. And it will also read as different because it's photography, not batik, and because it is torn and not, I mean, it's irregular and not a straight edge, so to speak. So in the comments, because I was happy to see that so many of you got on board and actually stated your preference, and it made me think, I'm not asking you guys stuff often enough. Because when I do, you typically are, are good sports and just get right in there. And of course, you don't need to wait to be asked either. You've got a standing invitation to say whatever you want. Tell me in the comments if you if you have a glue book or an art journal or something equivalent to this, that an altered book that you are routinely or occasionally using. Do you see how I got about 4 questions into that, all in that one? What I'm trying to get at is, do you do this kind of stuff? Do you cut and paste just for the sheer joy of cutting and pasting, and for the creative outlet that it provides? I know that sometimes people use prompts for their pages, or add, bring some kind of structure to it. And I think I want to do that at some point. So sometimes people do a color thing. Now it's like somebody said to me, yellow, orange, and I obeyed. But sometimes people do alphabetic pages. So this is my A page. This is my B page, and so on and so on. Oops, I should have covered that up. So that's also kind of fun. It's like being a little kid. You're learning your alphabet. Well, what words begin with A? Well, we know we're going to default to apple for sure. Okay, maybe we have a few more things to work with now. We'll see how this goes. Now these, again, because they're kind of, boy, it's hard for you. I'm sure it's hard for you to see with that busy page there. What can maybe if I just turn one of these over, it'll be less distracting. Now I don't want to bother inking because honestly I can go in after the fact and do that. So let's just get a feel for how this might work. One thing, these curved things could serve to carry the eye around. Like if we put our focal point here, say this biggest one, then those all serve to bring the eye there. Maybe that should be the plan. Bye-bye. Okay, so that means let's start gluing some stuff down. Now I also fussy cut out some leaves because you pretty well never get flowers without leaves too, so that just seemed botanically correct. Now would this be better up here? This is the right curvature here. Now I need to cover that little bit so I can use this. Or maybe I should use this. I think the first choice was better. What is this thing here? Garbage. Anyway, yeah, so I hope that all of you can reply in the affirmative to say, of course I have an art journal. And of course that's how I stay sane, by gluing and cutting. Okay, so maybe we're going to have to, oh, see, that almost covers that up. So, and we want to remember our sort of rule of thirds. Typically, you want your focal point to be in one of those areas. So imagine, let me use this. Every substrate could be divided in thirds. So that's, this line here is 1/3. This line is 1/3. This line is 1/3. This line is 1/3. Now, wherever those thirds intersect is a very safe place, a very expected place to put your, strobe light. I'm hoping I can still peel this up because, mind you, don't be foolish, just leave it. I was going to say this flower is such a shape that it's going to cover most of that up, but I could also do it like that. Nothing says it can't be like that. Okay, let's just keep it there for some positioning. So I need something over here. Maybe this will be too narrow. Maybe that could be part of it. And that could be part of it. I think what I need to do first is put in a patch here, because I want to put those elements in, but I'm being forced to put it in a place I don't necessarily want it, because I'm forced to cover up. Oh, I'm going to leave that little white torn edge there because it helps with some of the white bits there. Yeah. Now, we all know that I don't know how to edit, and so far I don't have any desire to learn. I think all it would do is frustrate me. Not that I really try to protect myself from frustration so much, but it would just add a lot more. It would take time away from actually making videos and crafting, so I'm not about to do that anytime soon. Oh, why is this lifting? Anyway, I will probably end up having to put some green in there to give that more of an anchor, but now I can put these guys where I need to. Maybe this has to come down this way, and then this comes down this way. Maybe I'm forcing it. And of course, I do always have the option of adding whatever I need to in terms of doodling, or let's see what some of these bigger leaves will do for me. At this point, you know, things kind of slow down a little bit because the choices are becoming a little more critical now. So we want to pretend that this is actually a leaf shape here. So we can fudge this a bit and make sure that those pointy parts are, it's not very good. Make sure those pointy parts are covered by something else. Don't like that straight line, but let's see how this goes. Now, if it's better this way, I can reshape this leaf so it looks like an actual leaf shape. Tuck it in that way. That's still pretty sharp there, but now I've got this. Maybe this one goes over here. Let's take those out of the way for the time being. This color green is kind of too much like the background. It's not standing out enough, in my opinion. This is too sharp. Okay, now what? Now what? Unless I put this here, like it's coming in off the edge of the page. Oh, let me turn that off. I have been using these flashlights for a few videos now, not thinking that, well, okay, eventually you need to get an either freshly charged battery or charge these guys up. I do not like this, I'm afraid to say. I mean, I think with effort, I could have taken it somewhere. Maybe what I need instead is, where though? Where? Sorry, guys. Elvis has left the building. Now, ideally, I would have taken some time to go and find some green translucent or kind of, that kind of paper. That kind of paper. That's not very clear, is it? But I'm thinking I need to knock back those colors. Still not the answer. Now, another thing that I have done in the last several months is use these sorts of pouches to separate scraps by color. So I grabbed the green one, hoping that there might be something in here. Oops. That helps save the day. Sorry, I know I'm out of shot, but got this on my lap here. I was just hoping there might be a piece of mulberry paper or something in here. I kind of like this because it repeats what's up there. A lot of this is cardstock, so what is this? I think that's just construction paper. If I would have planned this, mind you, you can see it wasn't planned, it was just happening live in front of you. If I would have planned this, I could have looked for mulberry paper. I could have looked for vellum. Oh, you know what? I think I know where there's vellum, which is a good thing since it's my space, and I should be in charge of knowing where stuff is. This is textural. Or this piece is anyway, but that's rather light. I think rather than waste any more of your time to army green, I will tear around this. So basically I'm just, cover up the glue. I will just sort of get rid of the harsh cut edge. Oh. I could have looked for tissue paper other than sewing pattern too. I do know where that is. And hopefully, you will forgive me for not having everything at my fingertips and understand why that is so. Because the project is unfolding before your very eyes. Now I also have this, which has been pre-punched to give me 2 frames and a little center thing. It almost looks like green is going to be the story here, so maybe. See, I seem to gravitate to and I can have part of this fool the eye. Have part of it on top of the frame, part of it hidden by the frame. Now, I bet you I do have more of these in that pouch. Maybe I should just quickly, find, make sure I do. We'll see, I have that too. And these kinds of things aren't much good for anything unless in this kind of an application. Thought I saw more in here. I see that there are other, excuse me, other shades. Oh, here are circles. That's a different, whoops, just about lost that. A different pattern. That is the same. Now this is solids. Okay, out of all that, I must have enough to work with. So look, you can just see how this design has taken a right turn. Or a wrong turn, depending on your opinion, I suppose. This I shouldn't have left out, but anyway, okay. Let's see what we have here. Oh, these have square corners. Those are rounded. And of course, this negative space, negative thing, or this mask, as I guess you'd call it, also has a place in the world. Now, ideally, once you've created something like this or this, you want to use it quickly because chances are it's going to get ruined otherwise. Okay, let's see what we have. Now I have more of these if necessary to play off the positive, negative thing that's going on. Is that maybe an awkward shape? Is that why I'm being baffled by it? And if I'm sure that I'm going to use this, why don't I glue it down and handle it as one? I think this is the best way. So I'll just, oh, of course, I put the art glitter glue back because I figured I'm not using that in this video. Okay, that way I don't have any gaps showing. I'll have to trim that. Sorry, guys. Oh, where did I put the art glitter glue? Oy, 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 oy. Is it right here and I can't see it? It's not where it's, oh, there it is. It's hiding. I'm just going to, whoopsie, of course it moved. Okay, I don't see any. Quickly. Don't see any airspace. I don't know if that's exactly what I intended to do. I don't think it was, but for better or worse, that's what's happening, so we'll play along. Oh. Totally missed. Yeah, that's goofy. Oh well. Let's see how resilient she is. Now where, oh, there it is. This video may be going from bad to worse. But thank you, dear hearts, for hanging in there. Okay, let's reconnoiter ourselves. Maybe this feels like it has to be that the flower would be pointy. I could do it kind of offset as well. Oh, first of all, let's cut this off. Can you imagine that with it gone? Or do we leave it? This I should cut because it's got that white. For now, it gets a stay of execution. Okay, so it feels like the flower is growing that way, to like, you know, reaching for the sun. So, what did I say I have? I have, oh no, I have another, oh no, that's a solid. What the heck? I only have this as another frame here. Now I could pretend, well, maybe I don't do that. Maybe I use these solids and pretend they're cascading down this page. So far, I'm just using the ones with the sharp corners, but I do have a corner around there, obviously. Do I want to do that? Okay, I'm not, or am I? I just think these will be a problem. Oh, not a problem, a solution. Not a problem at all, a solution. And if necessary, okay, I would say for sure that's going there. So why don't I just do it? But do I want that underneath? I would say so. So that means this thing goes down first. And if I don't like how it has, how, you know, the shape of it, I'm just going to make a tiny pencil mark there and there. So if I line up those two things, that should be okay. If it turns out that I don't like the shape, if the shape creates a problem further down the road here, then obviously we'll put something over it to disguise the line of it. Oopsie. Oh, you see what I did? I turned the piece around, so now it's not gonna, nothing's gonna match. Even though I went to the trouble. Or was it this way? Oh, hell, I don't know. Oh, hell. Sometimes that's the only thing, the expression that accurately describes the situation. Okay, so I said that this was going to be underneath. I will put this here, and I will probably aim it so that this upright is covering that seam, because I think it would look goofy if it was off to the side. So I'm going to butt it right up to the edge. And then we will reassess. So again, I hope that in the comments you tell me if you do these kind of oversized art journal pages? Do you find that working smaller, like on a tag, say, or bigger, like in an art journal, is easier or harder for you? And I guess even you're going to have to write me a novel by the looks of it, because I've asked so many questions. Of course, answer whatever you wish. Ignore the rest. What I was going to say is, do you even like art journal videos? Okay, I need to stand, because you only get one chance with this. So I want it flush at the top and down that line. And if you do like, whoops, stay straight. If you do like art journal videos, would you like to see more of them? Because I think that I would like to do more of them. Okie dokie. How did I say this was going? Like so, I think. It's kind of nice. Oh, but nothing like getting a bright idea after it's too late. I have these other flowers. Could they not have been? Oh, then it looks like it's growing out. Put this guy at the top. It has the straight edge or the cut edges. That's probably the part that grabbed first because I pressed it down. Oh, not very well. The glue gods are smiling on me. Oh, but tuck this over here. Oh, that's going to be great. And then this will be here, and then this will be somewhere here. And it's like, oh, it's just so beautiful. Okay, I will. So, whoopsie. I'm putting, I better get the positioning right. So that's going underneath there. So I can put a little bit of glue there. Get that line or that positioning established. But this is where you have to hold your breath. Line that up, but also know that I want this one to go over and this one to go under. So let's put the glue on top. So even though our glitter glue has quick grab, if you don't actually press it down quick like, you have the option, you have a little saving grace. Doesn't happen often, but okay, so I'll put a bit of glue here so it hangs onto that little window frame. I can put a speck there. Well, actually, I guess now I can glue the whole darn thing down. Put some there, squeezed out. I better put it on here because chances are I'll miss it's not going to be solid, that's for sure. And put a wee bit under here. So every little speck is not going to be glued down. However, I think that should be okay because it's not going to be abused. And hopefully you can see all that. We'll see how this evolves. If it looks like I need to go back in there and get closer to the edges, like so, then I will. Okay. cover this up and regroup. So I've got this in the way of fussy cut flowers. Now I suppose if I needed some, but these are too big, so let's forget that. This is what we have to work with. Okay, so this we want it to cut the edge of this teal colored, or this dark green. I think it adds a bit of something to have this largest flower and the frame at an angle, and that's not really what I do. That's not my shtick. But yet, let's get rid of these things that are not helping matters. Do I want any of the... I thought I might have a bud, but no, I just have leaves. I do have this frame. Oh, I don't know what you're saying, people. I don't know what you're saying. Nothing more that I can fussy cut to bridge the gap there. Okay, I think I have to bite the bullet and glue this down, and then see what's happening in between. So this is definitely at the intersection of two golden, the rule of thirds, the golden mean. If you ever want to know more about that, Google that, golden mean, M-E-A-N. Now, is it going to be an issue if I end up with using that? I've got these rounded guys here. Now I'm going to wish I had this under there. Then if I use this one, then all of the frames would have round frames, or blocks would have rounded corners. Okay, I know already that I want to use this. So and it doesn't matter if it's you know, if there are see-through little peekaboo holes. She's getting violent. Okay. And you're probably saying to yourself, why doesn't she put the glue on the petal instead of missing it and having to wipe it off every time? And of course, that's a very legitimate question. So she's going to change her strategy. if she can pick this up. Oh, did she change her strategy? Now this guy is not holding at all yet. Thank goodness that glue dries clear is all I can say. Okay, we're building this one flower at a time. I think I liked it like that. So, if this is cascading, it would seem like that should be going at an angle. However, we'll see. Now, assuming I can't get under there, or maybe I can get under there, that's not too bad. I could have this just going off the page, but it feels like these two should be touching. I could, if I rounded the corner, would this shape be the same? Pretty darn close, man. Still smaller than that, so it could be, oh, that looks like too big. Covers up too much of that flower, unless I have cut part of it off like so. Nope, that seems wrong. Let's round this guy's corners. And then after the video, I'll find that I had a whole bunch more of these green sheets, just misfiled. I think that's pretty good. But am I going to want leaves here? Maybe I need a leaf here to break this up. That's pretty good. Do I want a leaf coming in off the edge there? I think I have to, where are my scissors? And I don't know what you can see, guys, but I can't really do much more here. I don't want to turn this sideways, although when I was taking art classes, a painting should work, that's in quotations, no matter the angle. You could be looking at it upside down, it should still work. Okay, let me stand up. Seems like I'm too afraid to cover that yellow, but maybe I should get brave. Okay, this has to go this way because we don't want the... Okay, let's bite the bullet and do this. I'll glue this shape down and then worry about the leaf later. I better use this art glitter glue. I don't even know what we're at. Oh God, an hour 3. I think I had it like this, didn't I? Or was it like, oh goodness. I must have had it like this, so it would be kind of the more cascadey looking. Put this leaf on there. Because, hey, it's all about making quick decisions, right? And that, of course, will be trimmed after the page is done. Now, let me add this leaf. And you see how you have to think ahead. To what is below what. So maybe, I think this has to kind of be at that angle. Okay. I have to make sure that this corner covers the defects on that leaf. But I need this to be down there too. Now I don't, well, I do have this, but that might be good. It sort of breaks up this long, long line here. Okay, let's just tear this off here and here. Glue this down. Okay, that guy's down. Okay, so we're doing that. Oopsie. And in fact, now that now that I've torn that little frame up, whoops, it feels like, well, I need to do that someplace else. But that can be, well, we'll see. Let's get this. So I'm doing a leaf over that. And then how did I say I wanted this? I should have put a T on there for top. I think the jury was out on that petal. But since other things are stretching the boundaries, I think I wanted it this way. Okay. Where's my pen? Can I see that? Let's glue this guy down. And the reason that this is going to work, I have that feeling, is because sorry, I can't talk and look at this at the same time. Since I put that leaf down so unceremonious, like dropped it essentially, it has to be where it's going to be. And if my pencil marks no longer make sense, then I guess that's how it'll be. So I can't see the mark I made over here anymore, but I do see that little corner pencil mark. So I'm gluing that down there. And you're saying to yourself, thank goodness. She's made a decision. Oh, I started to say the reason this works, or is going to damn well work by the time I'm done with it, is because of the repeating elements. So color repetition and shape repetition. So this tweedy looking paper here, this cardstock, these cardstock shapes, I don't think that's what I wanted. I've got to go up a bit because, oh my goodness, I do have to cover the problems there, but okay, so now this doesn't roll off quite as nicely as art glitter glue does. And if I want to add some doodle marks, probably going to resist. See, I'm getting, the problem here is that I'm getting concerned, embarrassed, self-conscious about how long this video's lasting. And I shouldn't be, because you're free to leave at any time you want. I should be doing what is good for the project, which might mean making little hash marks showing where this should actually be, rather than trying to save a few seconds here and there. And I hope you can understand and accept that. And my preference would have been for these to be touching, but they're not going to, so I can't stretch them any further. So this, we're going to call that 1/8 of an inch from there, a little bit showing there, about 1/8 there, and that's how it's going. And of course, you know, because I've got different layers here, some of these surfaces aren't, yoy, what a sloppy job gluing. Some of these surfaces are going to make better contact with the paper than the others, with the substrate than the others. Amen, brother. Let's cover this glue up and see what's what. I think that there needs to be another is it here? Where are my scissors? I'm squaring this off. Oh dear. Now I could put this here. I think that's good. It almost gives it kind of like a stained glass effect. I can cut off this guy here and see if it fits anywhere. Boy, my fingers are all gluey. Now I could, oh, see, I could make a whole new bar here. Because obviously I can stick it under there. Which adds in, because this is going, now this piece going over this piece, it adds another, but is that the right spot for it? about as high as I can go there. I think I should trim this and this. Okay, I like that there, so let's glue it down. I want to break it that way or that way. Oh, let's go down the middle. Okay. And then let's do this guy. If I can get it out of there, that is. And that was about where those two leaves were. Try to keep it perpendicular. Okay. Now, cover this up. Cover this up. Now this is sticking out here like a sore thumb. Might have to stick a leaf over that. Yep. Shape this a little more interestingly. Maybe I could shape it and shape it till it's too small. And that little speck there, we're not going to concern ourselves with, believe it or not. Believe it or not. All these little crumbs. Yeah, your eye just goes to that. Seems like a good plan there for about 30 seconds to bring in those other elements. Oops. Now, this is still a pretty big expanse of like a block of color there, but that, again, maybe that's where a person puts a sentiment. Now, I did find all the pre-cut sentiments. I don't know if there's anything that's going to solitudes, blue and green. Oh my goodness. There are collage gods out there. What? I'm not even looking any further. Okay. So we need to tear there. I guess I can sit down again. I cannot believe the good fortune to find this, a reasonable word, in blue and green. Do I want that little doohickey there? That's making it a bit long. I guess it has to be sacrificed. I need this a bit shorter. And of course, I need to tear across the top as well. And having the sentiment there, of course, just reinforces that that is where everything is drawing your eye. I've said it before, when I was in art class, I also took a critique course. And of course, we all, as we brought work in, we all both critiqued and were critiqued. So it's interesting when you put a group of people together, and of course there were ground rules and so on. Can't get this up. I better stand for this. I have that blobby thing there, so that's where this has to go. Where do I put it? Oh, just do it. As I said, there were ground rules and so on. But one of the things we had to always be aware of, whether we were looking at our own work at home or whether it was at the front of the classroom, is there any place that your eye gets stuck? Because that is an indication typically of a problem of some sort. And again, I'm not trying to say or pretend that fine art is the same as what we're doing here, because I think that would be a hard sell, frankly. Oopsie. Let's now, well, we can see what these, get rid of some of this stuff. We can see how these pages look together, which is not too bad, I would say. Let me just, okay, what can you see? You can only see up to there. And here you can see my pencil. Sorry for being such a... Okay, this is almost the... I'll just lift it up one hair. I don't know if that's better or worse. I think we'll have to leave it there for better or worse. Okay, that's what we have. So I think, you know, it's not displeased. It's not unpleasant to look at. And then to look at this on its own, oops. I would say that after some fits and starts and some dead ends and recalculating, I think it turned out okay. And again, I will probably, see, I like this sort of this black line that's around here. So I might just go in with a fine black pen. This is probably too thick. But if, okay, so, you know, depending how the fussy cutting, I guess I'm gravitating to the Posca because it is reliable on this surface. I know that when I was doing some of that mark making on the other page, it